Good morning. We will call the February 6th, 2024 City Council meeting to order. I'm going to ask Councilman McMean to lead us in our invocation and pledge. If you would, please stand.
Mayor, I've asked our minister, Eric Petty, minister of Skyline Church, to lead us in prayer.
Would you bow with me, please? Holy Father, as we gather together this morning, I lift our city council up before you, and I pray, Father, that you will give them wisdom, that they acknowledge the weight of the responsibility that they have toward our community, and that you will give them the wisdom to make decisions that are in the best interest of Jackson. I pray, Father, that you will give them a spirit of cooperation, a spirit of unity, a willingness, God, and a desire even to do those things which are right, to do those things which are good for our community, even when they perhaps are difficult things to do. Father, I pray that you will bless each member with strength, encouragement, and perseverance as they serve our community. I pray, God, that you will, again, help steer them toward commitment to one another and to things outside of themselves, not necessarily self-interest or pride. Move them away from those things and give them a sense of accountability to the people that they serve here in our community. And Father, we ask you to bless our community. Father, we pray that you will, again, help us to understand what is right and to be wise enough to follow those things which are right. And Father, as our community continues to grow, I pray that you will bless us, that you will bless our city council, and Father, that we will be an example for the cities around us, the way to do things the right way, Father, that we may be a model for those who come to Jackson. And we thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you for being here with us this morning. It's through your name, the name of your Son, I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next on the list, at roll call, Marquise, you see all members present, exception for Councilman Donnell, who is on a business-related trip in Washington, D.C., representing Lane College. Item 4 is approval of the minutes of the January 2nd, 2024 City Council meeting. Those minutes were sent out to you all. If there's no additions or corrections, they will stand approved as read. We get to proclamations and recognitions. First, we'll have a presentation from the Place of Jackson for their American Rescue Plan Act investment.
Morning, Council. Mayor.
Good morning. Good morning.
First off, we just want to say that we're grateful to be able to receive the ARPA. I'm sorry. Thank you. We're grateful to be able to receive the ARPA financing that the city offered. So with that, we've got 5 women in our home right now. Each of those women are either working, going to school, maintaining their sobriety, and doing quite well with our program. Of course, we'll continue the program, continue with funding sources as far as grants and fundraising and things like that. So you all should have a packet that itemizes what each woman has been doing while she's been in the home. We've been operational for a year. At this point, I think we're making great strides, getting our name out there so people know who we are and what we're here to do. And you also have a copy of the budget that kind of itemizes what we're doing as far as spending-wise, obviously paying bills and making sure that medical needs are being met and things like that. So,
Captain, several of the council members here were not on the council when this funding was approved.
Okay.
And so, and give them a 30,000-foot view of what the Place of Jackson is.
So essentially, the Place of Jackson, it's a transitional home for women. What we found, there's always a need housing in those situations. And with some places, you may qualify for RAP based on what recommendations they have, or for Scarlet Road, but there was still a gap for women who were coming out of sobriety and just didn't have anywhere to go. So in an effort to prevent them from going back into drugs and things like that, we, myself, Ms. Linda Laney, Rochelle Staten, Dr. Kim Howerton decided that we can come up with a group home situation for women, so that way we can make sure that they become functional members of society and get them away from the drugs that brought them to us in the first place.
Thank you, Captain. Any questions from council?
Mayor, I'd just like to say, I don't know what we could do, but if there's any funding available that we could help this group, they do a great job. And I see the flip side of what they're doing with the kids that I work with daily, and what they're dealing with parents and not having a home and not having stability to be able to have a productive life. So I would like to thank them for what they're doing. And if we can do anything, I would like to make sure we support them.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's nice to have people like y'all who see this need and take care of that. Glad we're able to help.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I have a question.
Well, and we thank you not just for us, but for the women whose life and their families are better because of what y'all have done.
Councilman Busby?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the time frame that the women stay? Like, is it like indefinite, or what? Like, how long can they stay in the program?
So it's up to about 2 years, and what it is, like, each woman is working a program to have their own housing, and what we're providing while they're in the home is like basic life skills that maybe they've never gotten before, such as, cooking, cleaning, maintaining a budget. So we're transitioning them to have their own home, own apartment, whatever.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Don't be shy now, guys. I've never been shy. Yeah, y'all come on. So today we want to share a truly remarkable story of bravery and heroism was displayed by the men and women of the Jackson Fire Department. Their selfless acts of courage saved the lives of 3 individuals trapped in a devastating house fire. During the early morning hours of December 18th, 2023, a fire broke out at 29 Hansford Place. Flames quickly spread throughout the entire kitchen area, posing a threat to anyone inside. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty, our brave firefighters responded quickly to the emergency call. They arrived at the scene to find heavy smoke covering the entire block. With unwavering determination and commitment to protect and serve, without a moment's hesitation, they entered the burning house, fully aware of the risk they were about to face. Inside the structure, our firefighters encountered extreme heat and thick smoke. Despite these treacherous conditions, they pressed forward, driven by their unwavering dedication to saving lives. Their training and expertise guided their every move as they navigated through the house in search of anyone in need of rescue. As they searched the home, they discovered 3 individuals trapped inside. Time was of the essence. So while some firefighters searched, others were extinguishing the fire, preventing further spread. With incredible strength and resilience, our firefighters carried each person to safety, risking their own lives to ensure the survival of others. Their heroic acts didn't end there. Once outside, the rescued individuals were transferred to awaiting firefighters along with our added single-row paramedic, who provided medical attention. They remained by their side until EMS crews arrived. Their professionalism and compassion was evident in every action they took. The bravery and selflessness displayed by our firefighters that day are a testament to their unwavering commitment to the community they serve. Their actions saved not only 3 lives, but also provided a source of inspiration and gratitude to our entire community. It's important that we recognize and appreciate the sacrifices made by these brave men and women. Their dedication to duty and their willingness to put themselves in harm's way to protect others are truly commendable. We owe them a debt of gratitude that can never fully be repaid. So please join me expressing our deepest gratitude to these brave firefighters. Their extraordinary acts of bravery serve as a reminder to the extraordinary individuals who serve our great city. Let's honor their courage and selflessness by acknowledging these remarkable efforts. The brave men and women up here are Captain Carlos Perry, Derek Fuller, Matt Quinn. Don't run off now, come on. Ashley Worley, Captain Joseph Pollard, Nathan Stone, Michael Shipley, Captain says Stephen Bradford. I don't know who that is. Corey Bradford. Jeremy Smith, Captain Nicholas Wiggins, Daniel Brantley, Michael Lewis, and Medic Gabriella Pride. Let's give them one more round of applause. All right, item 6, invitation for public comment. No one signed up this morning. Move on to item 7, first reading, proposed budget amendment, capital outlay fund for paving equipment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
All right. Item 2 is proposed budget amendment to transfer ARPA fund to capital outlay fund for purchase of street department truck.
Motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 3 is proposed budget amendment, general fund for roof repair at the library.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 4 is proposed budget amendment to transfer JPD insurance recovery funds from general fund to capital outlay fund, the amount of $53,158.16.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 5 is proposed budget amendments, transfer budgeted ARPA funds from ARPA fund to general fund for Love Your Block, in the amount of $62,649.23.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 6, proposed budget amendment, general fund for ECD child care grant, the amount of $850,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
All right, thank you, Bobby. We have no second reading, and then we get to new business. Item 1 is consideration of a resolution to authorize JPD to use ALPR technology.
I make a motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote. Thanks, Chief.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 2 is consideration of an MOU with Cities for Financial Empowerment for FEC expert partner status.
talk.
Oh, you want us to go ahead and make a motion?
Do y'all want me to make a presentation? I mean, do you have any questions?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion from council? Council, please vote.
We appreciate you.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 3 is consideration of additional services authorization for planning advisory services contract with LRK for funding feasibility evaluation for the Omen Arena sub-area.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Item 4 is consideration of a contract with Premier Property Services for illegal dumping removal.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 5 is consideration of a contract with B&B Fire Extinguisher for citywide fire extinguisher maintenance.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 6, consideration of a contract with Mid-South Business Construction for the Animal Care Center.
Motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'd like a little explanation of exactly the capacity of this building and a little information about that.
Whitney?
This would help. I also have a floor plan that'll show off a little bit of this, and maybe easier to understand.
Maybe.
Maybe. You broke it.
There we go.
There you go.
Sorry, what was your question again about the capacity?
I'm sorry?
What was your question about the capacity?
How many animals we can handle?
There's 140 spaces.
Uh-huh.
Those are spaces to put kennels. There's actually 10,000 square feet in the building. That's conditioned space.
Okay. How many animals do we have currently?
Currently, how many do we handle or how many do we have?
How many have right now?
Right now, we've got 58 dogs and between 30 and 35 cats.
So we think this is capacity to handle it for the next 5 years or 2 years or?
Yes, it's almost double the current
So
capacity.
we
that
got plenty to do. Okay. What's the operational cost?
That you have today.
Oh, that I have today. The entire operational department, or operational cost of the department is a little over $800,000 for the year.
And is some of that by grant money?
No, a lot of it is refunded through the city via donations that we raise throughout the year. So our
that was-
medical budget and our supply budget for the animals directly ends up being a little over $200,000 a year, and a lot of that is reimbursed through donations.
You're a step ahead of me. That was great.
Oh.
So how much roughly is contributions versus general fund budget or whatever?
I'll be real honest, that depends on the year. We've been very lucky the last 3 years or so. We've managed to raise almost $600,000 over the last 3 years to help offset a large portion of our costs. And I can't guarantee that going forward, we're going to be able to maintain that level. We're very hopeful. But a couple of donations in that amount were bequeathments from people who had passed away, and were rather large sums.
Okay.
So.
Thanks.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, one thing I would like to point out as well is that the Animal Care Center does an excellent job of broadcasting needs via social media.
Yes.
I've seen some of those posts, and when y'all need something, the community typically steps up and responds in a big way. So thank you for getting the word out and taking care of the less fortunate animals in the community.
Absolutely. We
And
really
also
appreciate it.
On the spay and neutering that you were doing, makes an impact.
Thank you. We've actually noticed a decrease in the number of kittens and puppies over the last 18 months, because that is completely funded by donations, and we've provided a little over 6,000 spay and neuter surgeries in Madison County in the last 3.5 years.
To kind of look, is a high percentage of the dogs there pit bulls?
They make up 85% of our overall canine intake. Yes, sir.
Wow. There's no solution there? Is there a solution to that problem?
Prevent them from being born in the first place.
Right.
That's what we're trying to really heavy hit on the spay and neuter and public education and assistance programs.
Do you have rough numbers on how many are adopted?
I would say probably 65 to 70% of the ones that come in are adopted. A lot of the ones that come in, by the time they get to us from a health standpoint, they're not in a situation where we can really do much. They're either so old or so neglected that the rebound, their quality of life's not gonna be there. And then we do have an issue, since we are a city organization, we cannot assume the liability of adopting out aggressive dogs. So if it is a public threat or danger to the community, it is not made available for adoption.
Okay. One question that Zach and I talked about. I was a little bit concerned we had only one bid. Now, you sent out notices to several. Do you have any comment on that? I hate to spend $1 million with one bid.
We did send it out to several different contractors. We had 2 bids. One was not a full bid packet. It was only for masonry. We had 1 full complete bid. This type of project, since it's already half a building, seems to be harder for contractors to get involved in. But sometimes that's part of the situation. We sent it out to everybody. MSB has done a lot of work with the city. They're a good contractor.
Yeah.
We try our best to get as many people involved as we can.
Okay,
Mr.
thanks.
Chairman, I just have a statement. I am so appreciative for what you do. Also want to try to express this in I'm an animal lover, and I think the term pit bull is a little overused, and I want to express my concern for the animals. A lot of times, the animal learns what it is taught. So I myself picked up, you would say, a pit bull 10 years ago. I love it. My husband says, I'll bite you before it will. So I just want to encourage people that
It's a
through
very
our
low
moving-
bar, Marty.
Yeah, it's a very, it is.
None of us are gonna
scoot
argue that
over a
point.
little
It is. But I do want to encourage our community that these animals are worth a life too, and through our neutering program, I just want to encourage everyone to not just put it in that term. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Amen.
All right, any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Let's get that building. Motion passed 8-0.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
All right, thank you. Item 7 is consideration of contract revisions for the men's shelter design.
So moved.
Have a motion, second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Mayor.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Just quick question, where are we, the dates on that?
The date, so we're in our third redesign now, and so that will come for bid in
April.
March or April. We'll be on bid at that, and then so it'll come back to council in May for contract to start construction then.
All right, thank you.
Item 8, consideration of the 2024 CPI increase for the landfill.
Second, or motion. Ready to go.
Everybody's going, so, a motion,
You may vote.
make a second, Council Busby. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 9 is a resolution to support the Jackson Madison County Children's Cabinet.
So moved.
Second.
A motion, second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 10 is consideration of committee and board appointments. Education Foundation, the appointment of Gary Taylor.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Our Ethics Committee, the appointment of Dr. Sean Evans to replace Dr. Hunter Baker, and reappointment of Mona Miller.
So
Motion.
moved.
A
Second.
motion, seconds. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Keep Jackson Beautiful, reappointment of Dr. Charles Baldwin.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
Item 11 is budget amendments less than 10,000. Item 12 is consideration of invoices over 10,000.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
No further business coming before the council. The meeting is adjourned.